Now, which test to use to confirm our idea whether there is a difference between the two groups who dropped out or not? Now, if I go back to my essential analysis in a univariate style, in terms of the age, we couldn't really figure out, although the reading was quite intuitive if I want to look at the average medians of the people, or the mean as well, in terms of their age. The people who dropped out, they were at age of 36 in average median, in the continuous 42. So there's like some 6 or 7 years different between them, right? And the same thing we saw anxiety is very different in terms of their medians, the stress. And we were looking at the graphical thing, and we were interpreting, we were speculating, we were creating an image and producing a descriptive model. Now, it is the time to prove our final finding, whether what we are saying is true or not. What kind of a test I want to be looking at? Let me take you to my roadmap as well. Now, I am in this area, and this time I'm comparing the continuous values. We have the sample of 0, the sample of 1. So what kind of a test I'm looking at? The t-test. But since also I'm looking at the median, I might also use the Mann-Whitney U-test to test the median, not only the mean difference between the two groups in terms of those number of affecting variables. So I'm going to the t-test, and I'm going to choose the independent t-test, right? First of all, I'll bring also, this is from the demographic variables. I'm going to bring all those continuous variables down here, and I'm going to put the status. This is the big day to see. Now, first of all, let's have a look to make sure the t-test is telling you the right result. Just like the ANOVA, we were checking the homogeneity test. For the t-test, we need the normality test to make sure that they are normally distributed. We saw some of them, they are not. So first of all, the age, absolutely it is significant, means the age, it isn't normally distributed. And we saw that anxiety, stress, they are not significant. That is good. The normality is met for anxiety and stress. The motivation, aptitude, plan, expectation, all of those are not normally distributed, so the t-test won't be so intuitive. The excitement, very close to being not normal, but still I might consider it normal perhaps. I won't worry much because we got like 92 subjects only. Comfortability, they are okay. So only 3 aware of them, they were okay, but the rest, actually, they were not. That's why I might need to use the Mann-Whitney U. Mann-Whitney U, as we say, instead of relying on the mean in this case, let's rely also on Mann-Whitney for those who didn't have normally distributed aspects. So let's go back and read the result. We know how to read that. We could see that in terms of a Mann-Whitney, because this age was not normally distributed, it is 0.012. What does that mean? It means that the two groups differ, the people who drop out and the people who continue in terms of their age. The age was quite telling. So if I know the age of the person, I could anticipate person can continue or not. And from univariate perspective, if I go up here in my analysis, I could say that it's quite obvious that the people who continued have a higher age than the people who drop out. So the younger you are, they are more likely to drop out rather to continue. The next one was the anxiety, was almost equal to the level of confidence. So it's your choice to consider the anxiety as a factor or not. I might consider it, yes. The stress, absolutely, it is significant. Motivation, again, just like anxiety, I will consider it as well. Aptitude, none, because seems completely not significant at all. The plan as well, you could see, is 0.17, way higher than the expectation as well. Excitement, well, it's quite interesting. See, the excitement and the t-test, it shows me, yes, it's a kind of close to significant, but using the Mann-Whitney is absolutely telling me no, exclude the excitement. This is not really intuitive. Same as a comfortability, which is quite interesting. We while assuming they were more intuitive. Maybe if I could bring the quanti plot, and that's actually telling you about, according to the normality test, what we did in here, how different between what we expected to be normal and what not. So this line is telling you this is what it should, the data set looks like. I mean, all those dots should be lying around this line. You can see around the age, they were deviated from the line. So that's why it's not considered completely normal. So this picture might give you intuition to rely more on the reading of Mann-Whitney on some variables or on the T students. On the age, well, I can take both Mann-Whitney and also the T students, I think. For this, absolutely T student can tell me according to the anxiety, because they were okay, almost there. Also for the stress, it's quite normal. Well, motivation a little bit deviated in some points out of normality, but the rest are okay. Well, you could see here the aptitudes were completely not normal. You see, it's quite a bit exponential in a sense from normality. Plan, same. I think expectation not normal at all. Well, excitement was around the normality, except some points out. Well, comfortability perfectly normal, so I would rely on the t-test. I can bring also the descriptive apply. So in terms of the age, I have the mean and the median differences. You can see the mean in terms of the age was quite a bit like 35 and around 40, but in terms of the medians, they're very obvious, they're really far. That's why the age can tell you. In terms of your anxiety, absolutely. You see here the low anxious score you've got, the more likely you continue, but the higher anxious, the more likely you drop out. But still, the overlapped at some region. That's why like 30% accounted for that difference. Stress, absolutely good indicator as well. I can tell from the stress. Well, the same for motivation. You can see the median in terms of the median and the mean of the people, their level of motivation was equal. So the motivation is a good indication to figure out their average of scoring, that I can tell if next time somebody, their motivation score close to this value, I would anticipate he might drop out actually. But look at the one who continued, their median and mean, they were way from each other. That means it was a skewed kind of distribution in terms of the people who continued. Aptitude, nothing to tell, absolutely not intuitive. Plan, not really, but it can be considered, but not really strongly good. Expectation as well, just like plan. Excitement, well, kinda, but not completely strong, also relying on. The comfortability to confirm, again, it is not like completely different, but you could see like the median are quite different from the mean. That's all for the entire analysis. So to conclude, what kind of things I would say to answer the researcher question, I would say that the level of anxiety, stress, motivation, feeling comfortable and excited, plus your expectation, I can tell how possible you might continue or not. Same if I know your gender, being a male, I could be more positively feeling that you might continue the class rather than to drop out. If you are interested, you can take all this analysis and just export it into any format you like, at a PDF or as a graph as well, as you like. But in general, that was the general aspect on the use of the movie for the case of our analysis. So we have given an answer to the first research question, and we are able now to tell, yes, that X1, for example, X3 and X5, they combine all together to be a good reason to explain between the two groups, the people who dropped out, the people who continued. And as a result, I'm able to report this in a professional and then ready to publish even an academic paper or submit my report to learn project management, to tell them what was going on and why people are dropping out. To answer the second research question, and that is whether they can be a good predictors or not for future reason. This will be the discussion or the lab work for our next book, Prediction from the Start to the End. Now, what we have left is to review the final roadmap of research and analysis all together. That's exactly what we're going to do next. I will see you then.